Golair, and welcome to the Loaf of Bread GAA podcast, slicing into the GAA of the past, present and future. Join me, Jason Keelan, as we cut into the largest loaf of bread known to mankind. On Slice 11 this week, I chat to a woman who not only played in the GAA, but was a founding member of her club when she was still at school. Today, not only is she one of the true passionate supporters of the game, but she now has risen to new heights. I chat to current Leinster LGFA President and former Tubber and Moate lady star, Trina Murray. We chat everything from the influence of her iconic father, Tommy Broder, and her brother Michael, missing out on a big game against Dublin after a car accident, sending out fixtures in the post when she was on the committee, the dominance of Rochfortbridge ladies in the past, the impact of TG4 and Lidl on the ladies' game, and much, much more. But first, as always, let's take a quick trip into Trina's homeland area around Moate and Tubber in the Midlands. Bon Sultas. Today we make a short trip down the R393 from last week's slice in County Longford to the town of Moate, County Westmeath. The town name Oscuelga and Moate comes from the Norman idea of a motte and bailey for protection. The Clawatani River is the main water in the area, being a tributary of the River Brosna. The town's history includes many aspects of the Quaker lifestyle, known as the Religious Society of Friends. Their leader, known as the Rector, lived at the well-known Tubber House near the town, a house built around 1780. The common tax of the time, the tithe, caused serious discontent among the Catholics. This took 10% of their income, which was then to be paid to the Anglican clergy in the area. But given most of the Catholic population were peasants, it caused a lot of hatred. In Moate, the Quakers designed much of the town. They, like the Catholics at the time, were banned from land ownership by the penal laws. However, Quakers tended to bring their own personal wealth with them, and so did not rely much on the agricultural lifestyle for income. It was for this reason that the Quakers were able to turn the area of Moate into a hugely active town of markets, textiles and milling. During the famed tide wars in the country, the area remained fairly peaceful as the Quakers operated a non-aggressive policy. The town today has a population of close to 3,000 people. Some famous names from the town include the great Irish sports broadcaster Colin Murray, singers T.R. Dallas and Ray Lynham, boxer Joe Ward, and Irish soldier Patrick Kelly, who died in 1983 trying to free the kidnapped American businessman Don Tidy from the hands of the IRA. Kelly is the only Irish soldier to die in combat in Ireland since the Civil War. As for landmarks, the Castle of Moate is one that has many stories attached to it. Folklore tells of a tough Protestant landlord who was fond of evictions and knocking down houses. After his death, he is said to have continued to appear and is attributed to knocking a man off his horse and breaking his neck. The castle is the oldest building in the town where monks once lived. During the time they were barred from saying mass, but often managed to sneak out to say mass through underground passageways from the castle to the local Carmelite church. This was until they were caught. Their punishment? Trapped inside the tunnels and starved to death. What remains of the religious aspects today is the baptismal font, where it is believed St. Patrick washed his hands. For anyone interested, the water in the font is said to cure warts. The famous Carmelite church itself was completed in 1868, but the Carmelites themselves have been around for more than a century in the area before that. The boys' secondary school opened in 1949, but closed in 1996. In GAA terms, Moate All White's traditional white colours come from the headwear of the Carmelite White Friars. As for Trina, her GAA career has taken many twists. From starting out with Tubber GAA in County Offaly, where she now lives, to the Moate All Whites ladies team, the journey has been memorable to say the least. The impact of Trina's father, Tommy Broder, on Westmeath GAA cannot be overstated. The iconic goalkeeper was a stalwart of Westmeath GAA and influenced a generation in the area, including Trina. When Trina was in secondary school, Tubber ladies team disbanded, leaving them with no outlet. So Trina and others founded a new GAA team in nearby Moate for the ladies, backed by the help of locals and continued fundraising from others, including her family. Trina remarks on the dominance of the time of Rochfortbridge in the women's game in Westmeath and how committees were delegated and fixtures passed out by pen and paper. Trina's career at Moate led to a career at Westmeath, including being on the elite group of lady players in the county to have lined out in Croker against the mighty Dubs. A long career, however, didn't come without heartbreak, and missing out on a senior intermediate final against Dublin due to a car accident certainly was one of those. But thankfully, Trina has passed on her influence to her own daughter Emma, who lines out for Moate underage today. But Trina's work doesn't stop there. She had worked her way through the ranks with the LGFA to serve as Vice President in Leinster before taking the hot seat of presidency in early 2021. Onwards and upwards for Trina and the LGFA. For myself, I have a strong link to the town. My mother's family are McCormacks from the nearby Streamstown, and some of my relations live in the town today. My uncle Patsy is heavily involved in the famous Doonashee Heritage Park in the area. I've lovely memories of the town. Often as a child I went with my mum to bring Granny to Gillivan's Butchers in the town and then to do some shopping. My uncle Seamus is well known in the town, not solely for his furniture making business D&B, but for the fact that he is widely known as a GAA referee and a keen golfer in Moate Golf Club for many decades. In fact, several of my mother's side of the family live in the surrounding areas of Moate: Ballymore, Baylin, Castletown and Streamstown. But for now, let's meet the lady herself. A former employee of the Owl Shebeen in Moate, she's no stranger to having a chat. Please welcome LGFA Leinster President and former Tubber, Moate and Westmeath star, Trina Murray. Hello, hi Trina.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Sure, not too bad yet. I believe you know some of my uncles, is that right?
Oh, I do. I know them well. No, Seamus very well.
Yeah, I've heard. Patsy was the one who sent me on your number, right, and said you.
Oh, very good.
So, yeah,
very good. Yeah.
That's gas. Yeah, do you know Seamus well? I presume everybody.
Oh, I know Seamus well. Like he referees a lot of our games for us in here in Moate, and would have done a lot of my games too. So
yeah, no, I've played golf with him down in Moate a few times. His the house there at the Four Roads would that be my mum's home place, so where his kitchen business is. Yes. Yeah, so that's where my mother grew up. That's where I spent many of my summers out in that house as well. So yeah, it's a far cry from being in Dublin anyway for the last 15 years or so. So
that's where you're based now.
I'm back home now in Mullingar with myself and my wife are home just under a year. It'll be a year now. The night of the lockdown actually was when we moved. Funnily enough. Yeah, we up sticks and got my dad's van and trailers and cars and out we got. So that was all we could do.
Oh, very good. Who's your dad?
Joe Keelan.
Joe Keelan.
Yeah.
Are they from around about?
Dad is from town. Yeah.
From Mullingar.
Yeah.
Probably don't know them now.
No, the Keelans in town years ago used to own a drapery shop here in town, and my great-grandfather was the first heart surgeon.
Wow!
Part of the building of the hospital here was him, and then the other side of that Granny's family were the Mullallies, and they were responsible for all the plumbing. A lot of the plumbing in the county was done by them. So
brilliant. All tradespeople.
Oh, sure, look, yeah. And then I came along, decided to be a teacher. So, it's I ruined it for everybody, yeah.
Where are you based? And which school are you in?
I teach in, everyone knows where I teach. It's in Chapel Izzard, beside the Mullingar House.
Oh, yes.
That's that school on the corner. Every human being outside of Dublin, I think, knows it. If you're old enough to remember the old road into Dublin, I think everyone knows where it is, yeah. I'm there. Absolutely. I'm 11 years there now, so I'm loving it. Yeah, yeah. The first question I kind of asked everybody, and I know your father, Tommy Broder, was a big influence on the GAA. Who were, apart from him, I suppose, or even including him, who were your influences in the GAA growing up?
Yeah, I suppose Daddy had a major factor in my life. He always encouraged us to be a part of the GAA. We lived beside the pitch, so I suppose that had a huge bearing on it. And Daddy was playing when we were younger, and then the boys started to play, and of course Michael, my brother, he excelled, so he was like the golden child. But I suppose he was spoiled rotten.
That's always the case.
But and a boy playing GA. Yeah. But I suppose my love for it was just as much as Michael's, and I'd be in the pitch and Daddy'd be in goals, or maybe some of the Walshes or that, and I'd behind the goals, I'd be egging them on, for the ball to kick back over to them, and the wider it was, the better I'd get in a few
Yeah.
solos. Then I try and kick back the ball over the bar to make the goalie run then for it. Oh, pure devilment.
Oh, yeah. And your dad was a goalkeeper bar. I think there was one time he played full forward in a match. And
well, he would have played all over the pitch in his day, no more than myself. I played in various different positions. But he has towering presence.
Yeah.
And I know a few good stories, all right, from the times when he was in the goal. And he might have gave one or two young lads an education of young forwards or that when you come into the square.
That's exactly what every goalkeeper should do. Yeah.
Yeah, he commanded the area.
Yeah, he sounds like he knew that. Yeah,
he was really super, and I suppose when we formed our club in Moate, he was always there for us there, the supporting. And he helped us with the lotto tickets as well, the sales. He was a great man to sell lotto tickets. But he always had a portion for the ladies football, and he'd always be fighting our corner at meetings and stuff like that, because we were separate to the boys.
Yeah. And go on.
He looked after the pitch then as well. And I suppose he always had everything ready for every team that played there. He was just unreal.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Your brother Michael you mentioned there was, I don't know if you can remember, I know you're very young. Can you remember back to 94 when he was part of that team that beat the All-Ireland champions? Derry was their big celebrations.
I was up in Derry, yes. Yeah. Yes, there was. We all made the trip up. So we did. It was Memorial Day for us as a family. It was fantastic. I know it was a really wet day because we were all out on the pitch afterwards and we nearly sunk. But it was fantastic. And I suppose for them, like they had been close, to different games and had great players, Oliver Keaton and Tom Darcy. There was loads of exceptional Tom Ormsby players, and then you had the younger crew, the Ger Heavens, and
that's right,
Michael Brothers, the John Murrays, and they were there. So if I wasn't playing with Westmeath, I would always go and support the boys. So
that's good.
Yeah, we had great times, great celebration. It was a great journey home.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so there's plenty of good stories from that journey home, I'd say. What was it like with Tubber then in the early days?
So I was only young when I started with Tubber, and I suppose they had a camogie team and they had just formed the ladies, and so I was in the parish, so therefore I was allowed play because we were right on the border with them. And I suppose I was playing midfield. I think I was 14 years of age, so I was in the middle of the field. Was well able to run at the time, it was really good. But unfortunately, our coach he died, and I suppose really and truly things just fell apart. Then it was sad, really.
Yeah.
So then there was a little bit of a gap. So I was just mad. I'd be always going to the matches with Daddy, and and so then I met actually Athlone were after coming back. I was working in the Old Shebeen at the time.
Oh yeah.
And I met Patricia and Ken Dolan, and the girls were after coming in, and I think they were after being beaten, but by God, were they celebrating still, so it was just unreal. There was only 3 teams in Westmeath at the time, and Rochfortbridge dominated for so long. So there was only Athlone down our side. So I was very curious as how to set up the club and the whole lot. So we arranged for Ken and Patricia to come over. I rallied the girls. We were in sixth year, and we got a few of the dads in as well, and from there we formed the club in Moate. So we've never looked back.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Times. Yeah, you had a very kind of when Tubber, I suppose, disbanded. It wasn't like it's all over. You were kind of like, well, feck this, I'm going to do something about it kind of attitude.
Absolutely. I mean, I suppose my love for ladies football and for GAA, it's just something I suppose I inherited from my dad. And, I suppose when your brothers play as well, and I was always maybe a little bit of a tomboy too, so I'd have one up on them now and again here and there. But
has to be done.
I just, all I wanted to do was play ladies football. That's really all I wanted. And I suppose we were lucky we got to set up. And at the time we just had our junior team, and we the Bear team. We had, I think the lads gave us a set of jerseys, an old set of jerseys, and we didn't have transport really. None of us drove, because we were all in around the same bracket or whatever. So so we were dependent really on our families to support us and bring us to games. And they were great. And it was super. And I suppose compared to now, everything's laid on, and the ladies football has evolved so much, and it's fantastic, the way the players are being treated, and rightly so.
Would you see I think is it St. Mancon's in Tubber now, would you see them as rivals now, or are they still the old Tubber to you?
Well, I suppose the fact that they're in awfully
keep them away from you a bit.
Yeah. No, I live actually in Tubber, would you believe now? So no, I'd have a healthy relationship with them all.
That's not so bad. So
got rid of me after 23 years. I'm here a long time.
I don't think they'll get rid of you yet either. So you're doing all right for now. I think it was at a check 95. You missed out on the game against Dublin after, I think it was a car accident, was it?
Yeah.
What?
I was actually coming home from training on the Sunday. I was going back into work in Shebeen, and I was on the evening shift. I used to work my training and matches around my work and that. So at times that was quite difficult to juggle, because you could be working in the nightclub till maybe 2:30, or could be 3:30 again. You get cleaned up and then up early in the morning, go wherever you're going in Ireland to play. So that was tough enough. So that we were coming back anyway from training in Rochfortbridge, and just coming into Moate, and we were stopped, and a car just rear-ended us, and I was gutted, let me tell you. But I was delighted for the girls, but I suppose for me it was bittersweet. And the player that replaced me she had a super game, and it was just incredible. And the players like the Christina McGinty and Julie Kavanagh, we were playing Dublin, and I mean they were unbelievable players at the time. But we had our own that could match them as well, and the game itself was so close. We were level at half time, and we had a mix of youth and experience. And I suppose that day it was the experienced players that got the key scores on the day for us. And it was, I suppose, Ulrika Maher, she was probably one of the youngest players there from Turles Pass. She got the opening score, and Anne-Marie Kern then. Anne-Marie was unbelievable. She was a tiny little player, but by God, could she move, and could she carry the ball and score from acute angles, and she was just unreal as a player.
That's brilliant, yeah. And then in 98, I suppose you joined the elite band of Westmeath women who've taken on the Dubs in Croke Park. Do you remember much about that?
Yes. I do indeed. And that was my first and only time to play in Croke Park. It was incredible. It was incredible walking out onto the pitch. And I suppose ladies football was growing at the time. And there could have been maybe 10,000 a. It was the replay of the All-Ireland. But we wouldn't have been used to that at all. I mean, if you had maybe 50 a match, it would be, unbelievable. And that's what we were. So to get the opportunity to play in Croke Park was fantastic. And I played, most of my football was number 2. So I played cornerback that day. And and we had we joined with the celebrations after the All Ireland with the team in the county hotel as well.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. And I was lucky enough, my husband and my dad were there to experience the whole thing as well.
That's deadly. Yeah,
One of my proudest days.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was saying to Ailish when I was chatting to her from Australia. I said it's great that TG Cahir have started to show the Aussie rules highlights for the women now. What have TG Cahir and Lidl, I suppose, brought to the women's game for you?
Oh yeah, I mean, firstly, TG Cahir has come on board with us, and the promotion of our games, and we're getting to reach audiences that that we never would have, and the support that they have, and now Lidl in recent years they have come on, and I don't know if you've seen the ad now, the recent ad, and leveling the playing field, and it's really hitting home to a lot of people, and I don't know how many people have said it, they think the ad is fantastic, and I love the final pass to the young player, it's every young player's dream to score or whatever. It's just really well put together, and it's a credit to Lidl and to TG Cahir, and we are very grateful to them as sponsors, and long may the relationships continue, and long may ladies football grow.
Yeah, brilliant. And I suppose you're talking the growth of football. Westmeath, we lost out to Meath, unfortunately, a Vicky Wall inspired Meath team, but you had Emma Kelly and Sarah McCormack, I think, the Meath or the Moate footballer. So Moate football is still very much on the rise for the ladies.
Oh, it definitely is. And we're lucky to have 2 adult teams in our club, and we played at senior and intermediate last year. So we stayed up in senior, which was a biggie for us, and we were actually reached the semi-final of the intermediate as well with our second team, a very young team, and basically our under 16s. So we've incredible footballers in Moate. We're blessed with them, and hopefully we'll see a few more girls joining in with Westmeath this year.
Yeah,
and then go one step further.
Hopefully, you have Emma, your daughter's on the Moate team, isn't she?
Yes, Emma's moved up to minor now this year. She loves the game, I suppose. She'd no choice.
I was going to say, was it beaten into her?
Yeah, when she was born, we were just home from hospital, and our under 16s were in the county final. So I had to ask Jack to bring us back out. So she was only 5 days old when she was at her first county final.
That's a story you could tell her, I suppose, and she'll probably tell it on in the future. That's the kind of story you want.
Oh, stop! No, but she got to play with Westmeath, one of the under 14 Leinster blitzes as well. So you never know if she gets the opportunity to come in now. Maybe this year with the minor squad, she may do so.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, that's brilliant. Could you remember, I suppose, from your playing days, who would have been the toughest player you would have come up against in your days playing?
Oh, in Westmeath or outside?
Oh, anywhere at all. Club, county, doesn't matter.
We would have had many a battle at club level. So we would have, God, I remember when we started, I suppose, playing at Loan, and that Desi's mum, Patricia Dolan, she was an incredible player. She really was. The Rochfortbridge teams, of course, when we again playing down through the years, they had incredible players: Colette Cummins, Monica Jordan, all of the Glennons, Marina, and even though they were the older ones, they were unbelievable. Caroline O'Hara, Liz Allen played for St. Lomans. She was an incredible player as well. She actually lives in Moate now.
All right.
So no, look at the list was we had. I suppose after 13 years, there was many a battle across the field.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, my brother would be delighted that my brother plays with Rochfortbridge, so he'll be delighted to hear that. So And going into the, I suppose you've been vice president of the Leinster LGFA now for a few years, and now taking over as president. What's the hopes for going forward for you?
Yeah, I suppose, I was 3 years as vice president and then 1 year as president elect. So taking over in the COVID times,
Yeah,
it's not ideal, I suppose. So it's about changing your mindset, doing a lot on webinars at the moment. And we're just waiting for the announcement now so that we can get working on our fixtures for our competitions.
yeah,
And we're just mad to get back out, but obviously when it's safe to do so.
yeah. Actually, I think I remember. I don't know which article I was reading for you. Speaking of fixtures, you said that back. I think when you were secretary of Moate or somewhere, that the fixtures used to be passed around on handwritten notes, and you were delighted that
Oh, yeah.
you were delighted that there wasn't too many clubs around at the time.
Honest to God, yeah. That was it. I mean, I was secretary of Moate when I started, and you'd have to appear at the county board meetings, which was in Rochfortbridge again.
Yeah.
So we'd be in the sitting room of Sheila Lester's, and you'd be there,
Oh, yeah.
and Anne Cooney was there. So it came to the AGM, and sure, look, we were quite as nice. We just sat there, they told us what to do and whatever, and so they were looking for a secretary, and so we were all sitting back hoping that our names wouldn't be called. So then they said, right, Trina, you're going to be secretary. And I said, oh my God. I said, I'm a student. At the time there was no mobile phones or, communication was so bad like then. So you'd have to, all our notes were handwritten or whatever, the notes of the county board meetings and all of that. Fixtures were sent out by post. So
Gas, isn't it?
It is. So thankfully there wasn't as many games that there are today, or you'd be in big trouble.
I was going to say, I wouldn't like to be doing it today by post, all right.
No.
Yeah, no. The last question then, before I'll have a go at the quickfire round, it's the most important one I've asked everybody. Have you ever won anything in the Moate Club Lotto?
Have I? Oh, I would have got a couple of €30.
Okay, that's a good start,
down through the years. But actually, my husband won it.
Stop.
He won the jackpot back when it was pounds. But as I said to him, you couldn't really claim it, dear, because you never paid it weekly. So technically, I won it.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay. Because I've gone through everybody, everyone I've chatted to, and it was just a solid no. And then a couple of the lads were voted the best seller in their club. And then the other day I was chatting to the Cavan Camogie girls, and two of them had won like €40 in it, and that was the highlight so far. Yeah. So that's you're the first.
Well, I'm still hopeful. Yeah. I think the jackpot is up around 10,600. Oh no, it's actually 11,000. I tell a lie. So I'm still hopeful. I'll still come up trumps.
Jeez, I might ring around a few people and get my name put into that one. That sounds like a short winner, all right. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I might have a go at the quickfire round if you're interested. Okay. Now I say quickfire, but everyone I've asked so far, they've all been like, "Oh yeah, geez, I can't think of an answer to that." So it's maybe not as
probably
rapid.
No change here.
Yeah, so. It's probably not as rapid fire as I thought. So, but I'll ask anyway, and we'll see. You can pass on anything now if you don't want to answer either. So
okay.
Back in your playing days, what was your favourite ground that you ever played on?
Oh, I'd have to say Hogan Park, and then of course Croke Park. I always put them on a par.
Yeah, fair enough. What was your least favourite ground?
Oh God, you get me in trouble here.
Everyone has picked up.
Pass America 5.
Okay. Would you be preferring as a player? Would you have preferred? Well, I don't know. Was there a whole lot of short kickouts up until recently? But the short kickout or the long kickout?
Oh, I always loved the long kickout.
Oh yeah,
contest in the middle of the field. Yeah.
As a supporter, would you prefer the tea and the ham sandwiches out of the boot or the pre-match crack in the pub?
Oh, I'll go with the pre-match crack.
Good stuff. You have a choice of one for the famous GAA one: hats, flags, scarves, or headbands.
Oh, hats.
Hats, good stuff. Are you more of a part of the Marty Morrissey party or the Des Cattle?
I like Des, yeah.
Yes, okay. Have you got a favourite pundit on any sport, male or female?
Ooh, I suppose I'll stick with the LGFA. I like Grania McIlwain, Michelle Ryan, or
Lovely.
Denise Masterson.
Brilliant.
They're all brilliant.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, I had Davy Burke on recently enough, the Wicklow manager, and he said Denise Masterson is the most intelligent footballer he's ever met. He said he's never met anyone with a brain like it in football, which I thought was quite a compliment for her, and she's a great pundit as well, in fairness to her. So, yeah. If you had a choice of picking one of these in their prime, would you take Breach Corkery or Cora Staunton?
Well, as a back, I'm going to go with Breach Corkery.
I was going to say, I thought you'd go with Breach Corkery, right?
Mark Cora.
Oh, yeah. Have you?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, look at it. I always, as I say, I always like to gauge myself. She didn't score that much now, but at the same time, I had my hands full.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, most people who say with the Mark Cora she didn't score much. Not much for Cora. It tends to be about 350. So
yeah. So it could have been 110.
Yeah, anything under that seems like a good achievement, in fairness. So, what's the funniest or strangest thing that's ever been shouted at you from the sideline when you were playing? Can you remember anything in particular?
Well, I'm always quite amused when some of the males shouting, "That was a fair shoulder ref!" in the ladies' games.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll take that.
And when it's non-contact.
Yeah, I'll take that. If when you were playing, were you studs or moles on the boots when you were playing, or can you remember what the favourite boots were?
I love the studs.
What were the favourite boots at the time? Can you remember?
Puma King.
Puma King, okay. That's the first non-Adidas one I've had, actually, in fairness. Nowadays in the game, would you be for a sweeper or against playing the sweeper?
Oh, I'd be against.
Yeah. Same as myself. Outside of all the GAA, what would your favourite sport as an interest or to play be?
Well, I love all, but I've a graw for the rugby as well.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Same as myself. The best holiday I've ever been on?
Ooh. Will I say my honeymoon? I suppose. Barbados.
Dublin, yeah. It's a great spot, yeah. I love Barbados, yeah. And the last question, in your lifetime, who has been the best ever GAA player? That's always a tough one.
Well, I'm going to say Sue Ramsbottom.
Okay.
From Leash. Yeah, right. I always admired her as a player. Always loved competing against her. And she was just exceptional. She had it all. She was a fantastic fielder, a great ball carrier, a great scorer.